I thought the show was alright. It didn't blow my mind or anything, but at the same time it didn't completely suck either. One thing that I did like was the show's opening theme song, because of its elements of familiarity to the genre, but how it's able to stand out and be unique regardless of this. I did like a lot of the show's soundtrack, especially the song that they would play when Ueno has invented something new. It kind of has a sense of Western animation, especially with the voice actor that they used for the announcer, and which further reminds me of Western cartoons which do similar concepts. Another thing I liked was the emotive animation, like for example how Ueno's hair will often match itself to a current emotional being, and which I found very entertaining to see, especially considering that not all of the characters have this, so making her being and emotional state stand out even more from the other characters. She's often the punchline of the jokes, so this makes it even more hilarious because her reactions are even more magnified and extravagated. The art style, while not being original, does have its own unique qualities, like its take on emotive animation, and which I think helps it to stand out from other shows like it. The show's colour palette is fast, but bleak in its approach. What I essentially mean by this is while there is an array of colours, the brightness isn't throwing itself at you, instead it acts mature in its presentation and approach. I do hope that this show gets a season 2, because a lot of the potential which it could have reached in season 1 wasn't reached, and so I hope that season 2 can conclude this. For example, I wish that the show would have expanded on Ueno and Tanaka's potentially romantic relationship. There were times when it's clear as a ghost that she should have gone through confessing her feelings to him, but didn't because she was too shy. One of the characters I liked was Tanaka, despite the common criticism that he's dense and an anti-vaxxer, because I feel like while this is true, it does make some of the most hilarious scenes even more so, as while some of his actions are clearly sexual harassment, it's the fact that he's so dense that he doesn't even realise this, and which is where some of the comedy comes from. Seeing Ueno react to these things happening is also hilarious, since she is one of the most emotive characters in the show, and so her being completely embarrassed from Tanaka's actions is always fun to watch. At the same time, wondering how far Tanaka will unwittingly go is also entertaining and lively to watch. You're just watching it thinking that the worst can happen, and this state of suspense keeps you watching throughout the show. Don't get me wrong, obviously not everyone will enjoy the show's comedy, and to be fair, comedy in itself is subjective of course. I do think that there were times when they took the joke too far and milked the jokes, but to me at least, these occurrences were far flung from each other. I also rather enjoyed Ueno's character, her utter determination to find any way to get Tanaka to fall in love with her, but to no avail because of his outright denseness, and which amplifies the comedy, as whatever she invents, whatever she tries, always ends in utter embarrassment and chaos, leaving only one viable option to her, an open door if you will. Of course this means confessing her feelings to him, which might not ever be pursued and because of her shyness. Giving some of the other characters in the first season more of a spotlight in their own episodes would have been great too, such as if we got to see some of Tanaka with his sisters and their interactions together. I didn't think that the show had many flaws. It's nothing out of the ordinary compared to shows like it, but at the same time there is potential for it to go into something more unique. In conclusion, I enjoyed the show very much, but I feel like it's currently lacking in some areas and which could easily be fixed with a second season to give it more polish.